Hello guys, welcome to EED 345, Methods and Materials of Physical Education in the Elementary Classroom. I'm going to go over a few things with you today in terms of my SBC, the syllabus, and a few, if time permits, a little bit of content for this class. So in my email, previous email, I believe I mentioned that I think that you guys could do this class probably pretty easily as an online class, just because it's not the most difficult course that you'll have in terms of methods courses. It's only 2 credits as well. So if you're okay with that, we'll run it that way, and I'll send out some videos and reminders each week. If you would prefer to meet or discuss this class, we sure can do that. Just let me know and we'll set up a time for that. Okay. But I'm going to jump right into it here a little bit for you. You guys are well aware of my SBC. So the tabs that I will be using for this class include coursework, of course, which has all of your assignments already uploaded, preloaded already. So we have a couple lesson plans that you're going to do around movement, PE, activity in the classroom. You have a research paper on the importance of movement and physical education in the classroom. And then we're going to have quizzes. You're going to have kind of discussion posts. They're going to be questions for you to answer each week. You do not have to respond necessarily to other students. But you've got a couple questions that you have to answer, and you have to provide your answer. You have to provide support for your answer from either the book or else the other information that you might find to support your answer. Okay, so we got a discussion question just about each week. We also got some video critiques. We're going to take a look at a video, analyze it, talk about it, answer some questions, and then tests. I have the tests grouped more into larger chunks rather than smaller quizzes for this class. Okay, so and they're also kind of broken up into units here. I don't know why I did that, but I did it a little differently there. So video critiques, quizzes, discussions, a research paper, and a couple lesson plans. Okay, those are all open as well already. So the discussion forum is also the other area that you will be spending some time in. I'm going to change the view on this. I should have done that right away just so you see it. So you can see, for example, Chapter 1, January 17th. This is the due date for that. Okay, so this is linked to the assignments in my SBC. So you click on the discussion post and when it is due, and then, for example, here you can answer one of the following questions that have content from Chapter 1. Okay, you choose the question that you want to answer. Okay, pretty simple, and we've got a fair amount of those. There's not one necessarily every week, but there are 12 of them, and since we have 16 weeks, so you'll have some weeks where you will not do that, but you will be aware of that, and I will let you know. Okay, gradebook, you know what that is. News and announcements. I have posted my personal Zoom meeting page here on the news and announcements. It's also in the class overview. So for office hours, if you want to join me online for office hours, you can just click on the link and it'll pop up. I'll have that open during all of my office hours so that you can just join that if you want to hop on and ask questions or whatever. Also, as anytime, if you want to do a Zoom or face-to-face session, you just have to let me know and we can set something up. Several pieces of information here in the resources tab, right? As you know, I always have the PowerPoints in here and any other forms or things that we might need. So here's the lesson plan format. I'm hoping to do some observation time stuff with you guys. We have a subscription to Teaching Channel and also something called Sim School, where you would have an opportunity to do some observations besides just at your place of employment as well. So we got some options there coming up for a small little observation time that you need for this class. Okay. The other piece I'll touch on quickly is the syllabus, which I should have downloaded previously. Most of the stuff you're going to need to know is in my SBC. Okay. The coursework, the discussion forum, the resources, those are your big pieces of that. But I will touch on the syllabus just briefly. Here you'll find my office hours. Monday, Tuesday, 3 to 4 p.m., Wednesday, 10 to 1, Thursday, Friday morning, 8 to 9. Okay. If those times don't work and you want to do a face-to-face through Zoom, get a hold of me. My office phone, which I will not be in there at all, but if you call and leave a message, I will get it as it goes to my email. Call me, text me, or email me on my cell phone if you want to get a hold of me a little bit quicker. Okay, so I will be around, and if I'm not busy, I'll answer. If I am busy, I won't, and then I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Okay, so this class is basically, in my opinion, helping you understand the importance of movement and physical activity in the classroom. It's not to teach you to be a PE teacher or a health teacher, but the importance of movement in our classroom with our kids. Okay? We have there's quite a few outcomes for this course. They're not necessarily large outcomes that or difficult outcomes, but there are ones that I think you can practically, and we will practically cover and go over throughout the course. Okay. If you notice here, 20-hour practicum experience, we will see if that, if we can make that work in terms of the 20-hour piece of that, but we sure will work for that or towards that. As after a week or two here into the semester, we will go through that sim school if that's something that you want to try and do. I think it will be useful for us to try to do something in that aspect as well. Okay. When we do the lesson plans, we're going to look at the Ochetti-Chacoan essential standards and understandings to be incorporated into those lesson plans as well. Okay. You know about technology. You're going to be using a lot of it this semester, obviously, and your electronic portfolio that you need to remember and consider in terms of working towards completing your degree, and including things in that as well. Student attendance policy. This is our COVID policy from last year. If this is an online course for attendance, you need to be active in the class, meaning that you need to either email me an assignment, connect with me some way through email or call and talk about that, or complete an assignment and upload it into my SBC. Okay, they want us to have attendance done on Friday mornings, but I don't have assignments for you guys due until Sunday nights at midnight. So that might be a little bit more difficult, but I will connect with you one way or another to ensure that we're getting our attendance done and completed, and that you get credit for being here. This will more than likely be an online class, so class will not be canceled no matter what. There'll always be something for you to do. If you are sick or don't feel good or can't complete, an assignment or whatever, you just have to communicate with me. Okay, biggest piece: email me or call me or text me. Okay. This is a tentative outline of the classes. You're going to find more information on my SBC, or more accurate information in terms of when things are due. So this is kind of just an outline of when we're going to cover topics and chapters within the class. Okay, we've got a few things here where it talks about some time for your practicum component to take place, and maybe that virtual observation, that sim school component as well. Okay. Lastly, if you have a disability and you want to get a hold of Derek Stewart, he is our disabilities coordinator. 854-8034, or shoot him an email, either way. And he will help you out with any of those components in terms of a disability that you may need help with. Okay. So with that, if you have questions about the syllabus, the course shell, the stuff in my SBC, please let me know. But I'm going to quickly touch base on a few things from Chapter 1 in case you do not have the book. You can use these PowerPoints to help you answer those questions, okay? Or you can also look online for some information if you're not quite sure, okay? But to me, when I first learned about this course being in the program here for elementary education teachers, I wasn't quite sure with that. So I did a little research digging, and the reasoning behind it is to be able to understand the importance and incorporate movement, activity, fun, things into your classroom, into your regular classroom, in order to help your students. Okay. And so there is a connection, and there is research showing that when students move, their brains, become activated. They become engaged maybe a little bit more. Okay. So not saying that you have to have students moving all the time in your classroom, but we need brain breaks. They need movement breaks. They need the ability to be able to get up and stretch. Okay. And some students are different than others. Some can sit for long periods of time and do things. Other students get fidgety after just a few minutes. Okay. So we have to be able to know how to manage that and help our students through that process if they're struggling with that movement piece of it. Okay. Also, concern for inactivity, obesity, weight problems, diabetes. I mean, a variety of health problems with our young people. Some of our young people. Okay. We have to know that affects our kids, some of our kids, and what we can do to maybe help in that process, okay, or help in that. To fight some of those issues. Okay? Some schools, there are no PE teachers. Okay, the classroom teacher has to be the PE teacher. So this will give you a background in that, if that happens to be what you have to do in your place of employment or in your school. Okay, so chapter 1 is about improving the health of America's children. Okay, it talks about here that the number of overweight or obese children slowly and continues to increase. Okay, this information here is a little old, but you can probably guess and imagine that since 2003, 8 to 14-year-olds watch an average of 3 hours of TV per day. That might be the same amount, but you can guess the amount of screen time for that age group of kids has gone up dramatically. Okay, and for all of us, probably actually it has gone up dramatically. Okay, so the number of overweight children is increasing, and childhood obesity is kind of a predictor to adult obesity. So we want to try to help with movement and activity in as many areas as we can, not just in the PE classroom. Okay, increased physical activity results in reduction of body fat, both blood pressure, blood lipids, cholesterol, all those risk factors that kids have that also transition into risk factors for adults. So we know that we need active and healthy schools. It's going to look different for each school. People are going to be resistant against it, but we have to try some different things for our kids. Okay? Active children have a tendency to become active adults, or there's a better chance of that. So physical activity and sport participation, and I also call them lifelong activities, things like walking, okay? Things like certain games, not necessarily basketball or football or kickball or those things, but there are different games that kids can play that we can continue to play as adults as well, okay? That we can help to promote being active. Okay? It doesn't have to be a competitive sport all the time to be active. And it's better off if you're going to put together lifelong activities that it is not a competitive sport, okay, to do those types of things. Okay. So back in the Obama administration, Michelle Obama made a change to the school lunch menu and programs and requirements, and they became quite a bit more healthier in terms of what schools offered, and also a little bit more strict in the regulations. And it was difficult right away for schools to meet some of those needs. And so that changed. It got a little bit better since then. Since Trump administration has been in, some of those have been repealed and pulled back. But overall, in the last 10 to 12 years, school lunches have improved dramatically. Okay? And so we want to try to continue as much as we can to, as academic professionals, academic teachers, to try to incorporate as much physical activity in our classrooms as possible. Allowing kids to move, allowing time for children to participate in activity. Take activity breaks, small little breaks, 3 to 5 minutes throughout the day, where they don't have to leave the classroom, but they can get up and move and shake. A lot of people will do activities on their Promethean boards now. Okay, so take a few minutes, go through chapter 1, look at the PowerPoint, and then answer your questions for the chapter 1 discussion. Pick a question and answer it. I'm about out of time, so we will talk to you next week, and I will send you some more information in your email. Take care.